Fix's bid to take back-to-back Trans Am wins at Mid-Ohio ended in near disaster, but it opened up the championship battle to some old pros like Cliff Eben, Simon Gregg, and David Pintarek. Now Fix is back with a new car and a new attitude, determined to bounce back at another classic track. America's Road Racing Series Trans Am is next from Road America on the CBS Sports Network. Welcome to Road America. We're in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin for coverage of Trans Am, America's Road Racing Series. Today, it's the Trans Am 100. Hello again, everyone. I'm Rick Benjamin. NASCAR star Michael McDowell is alongside, and Todd Lewis has our coverage today on Pit Road. Trans Am plus TA3 and TA4 on this legendary 4-mile circuit. Michael, Cliff Eben, quick again in Trans Am.
Well, we've seen Cliff Eben get the pole several times. He did it again today. He's been fast, home track. He's looking to get the victory lane.
Amy Ruman, the defending series champ, still the points leader. She's got to bounce back from a tough day at Mid-Ohio.
You know, she's had a tough season. Obviously, a lot of speeds, a lot of victories, but she's had a few, setbacks. She needs to get back on it, get the victory lane. Her points lead is shrinking, but there's still a lot of racing to do.
The big story, of course, the return of Paul Fix. If you were with us at Mid-Ohio a couple of weeks ago, you saw Fix involved in an incredibly violent wreck. They put a new race car together for him.
A huge impact. So thankful to see Paul Fix walk away. Tony Ave Motorsports built him a brand new race car. He's back, hasn't missed a race. He's going to be hard at it.
The last time we saw this Paul Fix machine, well, he was in pretty rough shape at Mid-Ohio. Paul, talk about the process to get ready and what happened out there.
Well, Tony Ave did a fantastic job in the past 10 days to get this car back on track. We were second quickest this morning, so right off the trailer, real fast car. So we're very confident this weekend. It was an unfortunate incident in Mid-Ohio coming back on track, but boy, Tony Ave and the guys did a fantastic job. Car is bulletproof this weekend.
We'll expect you to be as fast as we've seen you throughout the season?
Oh, I think so. Just, posting an extremely fast lap this morning proves that I'm capable, and so is the car.
Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Todd Lewis. But as we get set to go here, Michael McDowell, things have changed dramatically. Hard rain has started to fall here at Road America.
Absolutely. Very different conditions than what they experienced in practice and qualifying. Rain changes everything. It's the great equalizer. We're going to see these drivers' abilities under these tough conditions.
Of course, that means rain tires are on all these cars. Fans are huddled under umbrellas and tarps and so forth to enjoy Trans Am. Todd, what will the weather do down on pit road?
Well, guys, as you can imagine, with the rain showers that we've got falling here at Road America, it changes the complexion of the race. But talk to a number of the competitors, and they're okay with how this change is going to work out. Our pole sitter, Cliff Eben, who's won a couple of poles here, has a couple of victories at Road America. He says, yeah, it might be an even bigger advantage for him, this being his home track. And also David Pintarek, I asked whether the rain was good or bad, and he said, yeah, it's probably more good than bad. So we could see even more dicing and more action than usual in today's event.
In the rain, some drivers love it, some drivers do not. Home court advantage for Cliff Eben, definitely advantage in the rain. You know where the wet spots are, you know where the rubber is. He's going to navigate this track very well today.
All right, after Mid-Ohio, halfway through the season, Amy Ruman still the championship leader, chasing the three-dimensional services Trigon Championship Trophy. 21 over David Pintarek. Cliff Eben right there in third.
That championship battle's in the thick. It's not over by any means. You have to execute every single race, and under these tricky conditions, most importantly, you can't have a bad finish.
Along with Trans Am, TA3 and TA4 cars will be part of our Trans Am 100 today. An onboard look from the Calypso Lemonade onboard camera. Tim Kesman in the fall line Porsche. Kerry Hitt with problems on pit road trying to get the windshield defogged in the 19 car.
And this is just part of the problems you have under these tricky conditions. If you get any moisture inside that cockpit, very hard to see.
Eben is on pole, Fix is alongside. Defending champ and points leader Ruman starts third. Pintarek, one of the challengers, fourth. Then A.J. Henriksen scheduled to start at row 3. We're hearing he may not come out. Simon Gregg, the Mid-Ohio winner in row 5, alongside last year's winner here, Jim McAleese. Mickey Wright and Tim Rubright make up row 8. And Claudio Burton had problems in the Ghost Share machine in qualifying. He'll start back alone in row 9. In TA3, Cindy Lux and Steve Strymer in those Dodge Vipers.
Dodge Vipers pair of teammates on the front row. A lot of speed at Road America.
Mel Shaw will bring up the rear. He'll start 11th in that 22 car, one of his Corvettes, at the back of the TA3 field. TA4, Ernie Francis Jr. trying to continue his incredible string of 6 in a row.
Well, he wins under every condition so far, but this is going to be a tricky race. We'll see if he can handle the pressure.
It's been tricky already for some. One car on pit road. Here's Todd Lewis.
Yeah, guys, this will give you an idea of how treacherous it can be out there on course. Even before we get set to go green, Chris Utzon had an off, hit the wall, tore the front off the car. He won't be able to take the green flag.
Tough break indeed. You hate that. Green flag is in the air, though, and we're racing at Road America. Paul Fix on the inside of Cliff Eben as they hammer toward turn 1.
And under these tricky conditions, you're just feeling what you have. But if you can get to the lead, it is a huge advantage under these conditions. That mist that you see coming off the back of the cars, very hard to see. Cliff Eben is...
Oh, Amy Ruman gets her sideways on the brakes, keeps it on the tarmac.
That was a great save. That could have been disastrous for her.
Down the hill into the first couple of corners here at Road America. Now the rain has slackened a little, but we've got water everywhere on this 4-mile track. Michael McDowell, how do you make these rain tires work for you?
Well, you got to get heat in them first of all, and then...
Oh, another car goes off. RJ Lopez, one of our Detroit winners, clips one of the barriers and gets back on the course.
Well, as you can see, very slick conditions. Build heat in those rain tires. Most importantly, you have to drive offline. It's very counterintuitive. You don't want to be where the rubber is. Where the rubber is, the oil comes out of the asphalt. Very slick. And as we can see right here.
Take another look at what happened. Lopez just had to get away from him there.
Just got a little bit too much throttle, maybe even grabbed the gear. That's a very tricky part of it, especially with these TA cars. So much horsepower. Got to be very gentle on that gas.
Amy Ruman trying to smooth things out, get her head back on straight and get back in the chase here. She needs a good day after struggling mightily at Mid-Ohio a couple of weeks ago. Our last telecast for you here on CBS Sports Network. Vincent Allegretta right behind her in the 41 car headed to the Speedville Bridge. This is the carousel on the backside of Road America.
And we've talked to Amy Ruman in the past. She's not a huge fan of the rain. She can do it. She can be very competitive, but her car's so fast under the dry conditions. This is not what she was looking forward to.
Amy's sitting in 4th. Allegretta is 5th right now. Race leader continues to be Cliff Eben. I was impressed at the start. Eben was able to hold on to the lead going into 1 on the outside, and that's an example of not running in the groove.
Absolutely. He actually had the preferred line. Starting on the outside is exactly where you want to be under these conditions.
There's our Mid-Ohio winner, Simon Gregg, and Jim Durhawks 59, avoiding that standing water there on the inside.
And that's so hard to see. As you can see, as we go back through this section here, these cars have very little visibility. You come up on standing water like that, and you can put yourself in a bad spot.
Now, Michael, you're in a car here this weekend, a NASCAR Xfinity Series machine. You haven't been out in a session like this. How bad is the spray off the back ends of these cars?
It's very, very hard to see through the spray. Right now, we can see these conditions. TA cars, a lot of downforce, a lot of power. They move a lot of water. And when you're 2 or 3 cars back there, it is almost impossible. You're watching those brake lights. You're trying to pay attention to the line. But at the same time, you get in the corner a little bit too deep. Those brake lights come on in front of you, and it's disastrous.
Simon Gregg headed onto the main straightaway, our Mid-Ohio winner, and you could tell in the 59, the rain's changed enough. He's not using his windshield wiper. Right behind him, RJ Lopez has got his at full cry.
And this is such a big track at Road America, over 4 miles long, and you'll have areas of the racetrack that are pretty dry. Then you'll come into sections like you see here that are still very damp. So moving your line around constantly, trying to find where the moisture is and where the moisture isn't is going to be really important. These tires do not like to be driven in the dry.
Well, we'll keep an eye on that situation among others. Eben is your leader, Fix, Pintark, and Amy Ruman the top 4.
Trans Am Racing Series on CBS Sports Network is being brought to you by 3 Dimensional Services Group, Prototype, Production, Proven. And by GoShare, your friend with a truck.
Welcome back to Road America, Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. The Trans Am 100 today. Trans Am, TA3 and TA4 in very wet conditions. I'm Rick Benjamin, NASCAR star Michael McDowell alongside Todd Lewis with our pit road coverage. TA cars here into the right-hander. There's your 4th place car of Vincent Allegretta behind Amy Ruman as the rain starts to come down a little more heavily and Amy struggles. Whoa, goes way off into the grass.
It happens so fast under these rain conditions. She got her right side tires on the curb. The curb is painted. very, very slick, pulled that car right off the racetrack. Luckily, she's able to get back on. That radiator's probably packed full of grass, but under these conditions, she should be fine.
Amy Ruman, your defending series champ and your points leader, has struggled of late. Let's take another look at what happened from Amy's vantage point.
Which you can see her vantage point isn't very good, and she doesn't have anyone in front of her. The rain's coming down so heavy, very hard to see. Like I said, just misjudged where her car was placed, and that's all it takes.
Cliff Eben is your leader in the 36 car. Other drivers struggling as Eben fights the car out of the corner. Lopez and Simon Gregg fighting for position here. Simon Gregg, our Mid-Ohio winner, into the right-hander out of turn number 1. Todd Lewis on pit road with John Bauckham problems.
Yeah, this is the problem, guys. One of the challenges of road racing in the rain, not just the moisture on the track, but moisture and fog inside the car in the windshield. This 86 car, the latest one along pit road, can't see out the front. The crew is scrambling up and down looking for an anti-fog solution to try to apply it to the inside of the windshield so that he can get back out.
Unfortunately, when you get to that stage that you already have that much fog on the windshield, it's very difficult to have it go away, and really got to catch it so early. There's so much moisture, and these cars have so much spray. If your cockpit isn't sealed up, as soon as that water gets a little bit of heat, those windows go bad.
How about Tim Kesman in the Calypso Lemonade car, one of the fall line Porsches? Now, the Porsches, of course, configured differently from the Vipers and the Trans Am cars and the TA4 cars as well. Kesman and his teammate Mark Bowden, they're thinking this may be their kind of day here.
If you have a Porsche, this is your kind of day. You love rain weather. Porsches are so good in the rain. A lot of it to do with the engine being over those rear tires. So much drive off the corner, very well balanced. The CG in a Porsche is very good. When the Porsche sees rain, it is in a happy place.
Kesman staying to the outside of the racetrack, trying to find some moisture there, driving right by the Lux and Strymer Vipers who are on the front row after qualifying, which was done in dry conditions. Kesman says, thanks, boys. I'll see you later. He is putting down some great laps here. As we see some of the other competitors, here's Ernie Francis Jr., the TA4 Dominator, gunning for 7 in a row today in this category, trying to get by Cindy Lux in the Lux Performance Dodge.
And we can see how wet the track is. Fastest part of the racetrack, the kink, a lot of standing water, very treacherous part of the racetrack.
Our CBS Sports Network cameras as well not liking the rainfall at this point, which has picked up dramatically. Trans Am officials, SCCA Pro Racing officials saying, we're going to keep the green flag out. The track is clear. We can keep racing despite the heavy rain here. Getting a look at Ernie Francis Jr. and the breathless performance Ford Mustang as he tracks behind Cindy Lux. TA4 cars in this as quicker than the TA3 cars.
Absolutely. Ernie Francis, such a dominant driver. You know, hasn't been challenged all season long, but he's got some new challenges coming. We're really excited. He's got big news. We're going to see Ernie Francis move up, and I can't wait to see what he does.
Yeah, Todd talked to Ernie before the start about his plans for next year.
Yeah, we just want to go up into the next level with it and just show that I can race with the top guys out there and 800, 900 horsepower, fire-breathing race cars to really show that I have what it takes.
That's something to get excited about, that much horsepower.
It is very exciting watching the cars go around today. I'm getting pretty excited looking at them go down the straights. I can't wait to be behind the wheel of one.
Ernie Francis Jr. will move up to Trans Am, not TA2, but Trans Am with the big horsepower cars next season.
And it's a huge jump, no doubt, but Ernie Francis Jr. showed the maturity, showed the potential. He has the ability. It may take him a few races to get comfortable in that car with that much downforce, that much power, but we're going to see him up front. There's no doubt about it.
Ty Napierowski in some trouble in the Tremec 39 car. He's been Ernie's main challenger in TA4 this season, but he seems to be off the pace right now. There's Mel Shaw on the 22, the Bay Commercial Group Chevrolet. In TA3 at the back of the field at the moment, Cliff Eben working his way through slower traffic here in the rain at Road America.
And this has been a breakout season for Cliff Eben, not just here today, but all season long, showing speed. But what he really loves is...
trouble. Claudio Burton has gone around in the GoShare Corvette, the 7 car. Claudio gets back on track over at turn 5.
And that is a great-looking Corvette. That body, that paint scheme, one of the best-looking TA cars out there.
Making that move up to higher horsepower equipment, that's something every driver wants to do, but it's hard to do, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's going to be a challenge. Ernie's a young guy, but at the same time, he needs to be challenged. He hasn't had a true challenger in the last 7 or 8 races. He's been so dominant. It's definitely time for him to move up, and if he can keep that dominance, he's going to have a bright future.
Claudio Burton's onboard look here, the GoShare onboard camera, and that beautiful 7 car headed toward the carousel. You get a look at just how tough these conditions are for these drivers. You got that wiper in front of the driver, but the windshield fogs pretty easily on a day like this. We'll be right back with more of the Trans Am 100 at Road America. Back at Road America, the Trans Am 100 on CBS Sports Network. He's Michael McDowell. I'm Rick Benjamin. Mark Bowden in that fall line Porsche has taken over the lead in TA3, and he's third overall.
And this is not a surprise. I know it seems like a shocker, but these Porsches are so good under race. The TA car is very tail happy under these conditions. This Porsche may have a shot of actually challenging for the overall win.
Unbelievable speed out of this car considering the conditions. You can see the standing water there on pit road. Bowden doing a very nice job in the 47 car. Calypso Lemonade, one of the sponsors of that machine. He's the teammate to Tim Kesman. Let's take a look at our Taste of the Islands Calypso Lemonade's TA3, TA4 update now. On the front row, Cindy Lux and Steve Strymer in the two Lux Performance Vipers.
Not the conditions the Dodge Vipers were looking for this morning. Been so fast in practice qualifying, sharing that front row, but when the rain drops, these Vipers have a very hard time.
Cindy Lux was the early leader in TA3. Her teammate Steve Strymer, of course, they won races a year ago in the series. How about Tim Kesman in the Calypso Lemonade's Porsche, 7th to 2nd already in TA3.
Doing a great job under these tricky conditions. Another Porsche with a lot of speed.
Our Calypso Lemonade's onboard look up the hill, headed towards start finish. You get a sense of how long this front straightaway is at Road America. Kesman doing a terrific job.
And what's great about these Porsches, very production based. You see the interior there. It's got a great defroster, the windshield wiper. This is a street car, and under these conditions, this is what you need.
Randy Mueller out of Miami, Florida in the Zero car from 5th to 3rd right now in this BMW. Maybe not as good a configuration for these conditions as the Porsches.
The BMW definitely going to struggle more than the Porsche, but Randy Mueller is a very experienced driver under these conditions. He'll still be challenging.
Fernando Ceferlis behind in the 28 car, struggling a little bit in that Aston Martin, but Mueller in the Epic Motorsports Bizbloom entry. And you can see that's a rear drive car for you with the front engine, a little bit sideways. How about Todd Napieralski in the Tremec Chevrolet, the 39? He has struggled. Look at that big defroster he's got on the windshield there.
And that's improvising, seeing the conditions. Hey, we got to do something. We got to keep this window clear. Not a bad solution.
Problems for Napieralski, though. He pulls it offline on pit road. Looks as though his day may be done. He's going to have to get a push from one of the guys on pit road, one of the SCCA officials with a radar gun, trying to help out there. In TA4, all Ernie Francis Jr. in the breathless Ford Mustang.
Absolutely. I thought we'd have some challengers for Ernie today, but at the same time, not surprised. He's been so dominant, talented guy. Under these conditions, you see him hanging it out, sliding the car. His main competition, Todd Napieralski, with some issues. Ernie Francis is out front.
That's your Calypso Lemonade's TA3 and 4 update. It can still be hot outside. That means it's perfect weather for an ice-cold Calypso Lemonade made with real lemons, real sugar. Calypso's Real Lemonade, the perfect summertime refreshment. More information from drinkcalypso.com. Out in front, still Cliff Evan in the 36 car. Some of the TA3 and 4 machines next on the racetrack. It's a long way back to your second place overall machine, that white number 50 of Paul Fix.
Cliff Evan, home court advantage, knows where to put his car under these tricky conditions. There's so much to knowing where you need to run in the rain. Obviously, Cliff Evan has a great car underneath him, knows what he needs to do, and now all he has to do is manage this huge lead he's built.
Fixing that brand new Stop Flex machine, Tony Abe's group putting together that car up in Maiden, North Carolina on short order to get fixed back on the racetrack this weekend to see bids for a Trans Am championship. Coming up on Tim Rubright's Mustang, the 77, brand new TA car this year. Tim kind of feeling his way along. He made the transition from TA4 to Trans Am this season, taking him a while to come to grips with the increase in horsepower.
It's a huge jump. You're talking about a street production car to a fire-breathing dragon of a TA car. So much power, big tires, big downforce, and you have to ease into this kind of process. It's not something you just go down the straightaway 205 miles an hour at Road America. It can be very intimidating.
And the rain helps make it intimidating on a day like this in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. Evan is still your leader. We'll be back with plenty more.
Trans Am Racing Series on CBS Sports Network is being brought to you by The General Insurance. Get your anonymous online auto insurance quote now. And by Replay XD, professional action cameras, the leader since 2005.
Welcome back to Road America, Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin, where the conditions kind of vary. The rain has halted a few times. It's come back strong a few times. Mark Bowden doing a great job in that 47 car. Other drivers, though, have continued to struggle. Downstairs to Todd.
Evidence of some off-roading from the 06 machine as the crew pulls some grass out from the front grille. Engine off as he stops along pit lane. The problem? No brakes, and that's the reason he went off-roading. He's done for the day.
Not sure which happened first. A lot of times you get off-road, you get those brake ducts packed full of grass, overheat, and you'll lose that brake pedal. So unfortunate for him today, tricky conditions and not able to get to the end.
For 4th overall, David Pintarek in that newly rebodied machine, that Cadillac-bodied car. How about Kesman in the Porsche, the Calypso Lemonades entry, trying to chase him down here under the Continental Tire Bridge.
And doing a great job moving forward, going through that TA field. Porsche running strong, seeing all that rain and loving it.
We always talk, Michael, in these Trans Am broadcasts about managing things from the driver's perspective. I would think more than ever on a day like today, picking your spot if you're going to pass a car is really important.
Absolutely, and a big part of running well in the rain is visibility. Knowing that you can see out the windshield, you can see your competitors. The hardest thing is when you come up behind a slower car and you're trying to overtake, you get so much spray, so much mist, you don't know where to be on the racetrack. So you gotta time them, you gotta set it up leading onto a long straightaway, get a big run, and that is the best way to do it. At the same time, you put some pressure on somebody in the wet, very easy for them to slip wide.
See what Kesman does here on the front straightaway at Road America. You go up this hill, very long run down to the hard right turn 1 under the bridge. Pintarek's speed starting to separate the cars.
Well, there's no way Kesman's going to pass a TA car down the straightaway. It's going to be in the brake zones. Those TA cars so fast, but once again, this is not a track where you have to have just straight line speed under these conditions. The faster you can get through the corner, you can see bottling up here, the Porsche is able to carry lots of speed and make up all the ground it lost down the straightaway.
Kesman up through the gears in the Calypso Lemonades car. Measuring Claudio Burton here.
And as you can see, very tough to see. You see the brake lights come on. You're tiptoeing around, waiting to get straight. He puts the power down, that Porsche and is able to speed by.
Pintarek facing similar issues here. He's got Tim Rubright up ahead in that 77, quite a bit slower. Kesman will use this part of the racetrack to try to reel in Pintarek again for position overall. What an accomplishment for these TA3 machines to get up and mix it up with the Trans Am cars for overall honors.
Oh, it's definitely a fun day for those guys to be able to do that, knowing that they have a slight advantage with that lighter car, that rear drive, that Porsche puts the power down so well. And as a race car driver, you're like, I'm going to get him. I'm going to get him. I'm going to keep pushing. I can maybe win this race overall. And so there's always a battle on the racetrack.
Allegretta there in the 41 out of New York. He's out of shape and off course. Gets it back on the tarmac here as Ernie Francis comes up on him. The TA Sights and Sounds 41 car, newly bodied machine this season. Beautiful car. Take a look at what happened here to Allegretta.
Just a little bit too deep in the brake zone. Rear tires lock up. Very easy to lock up tires under these tricky conditions. Luckily, single car spin, no harm, no foul, back on the racetrack.
Able to get it stopped on the grass. A lot of times you see a car pick up speed going across wet grass. If he never gotten into the kitty litter, he'd never get out of there today. But he was able to save it and get back on the racetrack. And how about this? Kesman has gotten by Pintarek. Nice move by Tim Kesman. 4th overall now after passing Pintarek. And you talk about drivers who are hungry for a Trans Am victory. David Pintarek is one of those. He's come up to me every week I've seen him this year and said, this is it. We've got the car. This is the weekend. He's close. He's knocking on the door. He's not there yet.
Well, they definitely had the speed in the dry. That new Cadillac is running strong, been getting better and better every week.
Lots of strong runners in Trans Am 2 here at Road America. Our AEM Infinity TA2 preview. We'll see that race in days to come here on the CBS Sports Network. Champion Guy Robinson in the field along with Tony Buffamani in the 34. Lots of great contenders. Winner Lawrence Loshak from Mid-Ohio. Dylan McIvern and Shane Lewis among the field, and 17-year-old Justin Haley. Louis Montour, who grabbed a top 5 run late in the going at Mid-Ohio, will be part of the fun. Trans Am 2 is powered by AEM Infinity. Coverage of TA2 coming your way on the CBS Sports Network. Rubright pulls off the racetrack in the 77 car. That will bring out a caution. The BlueKnobAuto.com machine. Rubright causing a yellow here. Mark Bowden will get a chance to reel in race leader Cliff Evans.
Well, Cliff Evans been very strong, but we've seen these Porsches get through the field. It's going to be an exciting restart.
The Fall Line Motorsports team watching their two entries run second and fourth overall as the caution waves here at Road America. Jim McAleese, who won here a year ago in that 03 car, and a surprise, his first career victory, he's off. Stuck that car in the gravel trap. Hard to get out of there.
Very hard to get out, especially under these conditions.
So 2 cars are off. SCCA Pro Racing officials put out the caution flags. We'll be right back with more at Road America. Back at Road America, Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin, our Trans Am 100 under caution. A couple of cars off course a few moments ago. There's your leader, Cliff Eben, local hero here, trying to become a winner at his home track in Trans Am and maybe win the Trans Am title. That's a brand new Mustang built just a short time ago. Trans Am machinery is going to get an update coming into the new season. Here's Todd.
We're already seeing the transition to new body styles in the Trans Am series. Next year, we'll see 2 more new body styles. Gary Hitt from Advanced Composite Products, also a driver in the series. You're also the owner of the company, and you're going to be in charge of putting these new body styles in the cars.
Well, we're doing 2 of the new ones. We're doing a Camaro, and we're doing the Dodge Challenger. Both cars have been designed digitally. We're in the computer age, so we've taken digital files, manipulated them to fit the wheelbase of the chassis that we're running in Trans Am and TA, and do all the aerodynamic additions to it, so they're a lot faster and sleeker and cool looking. So we'll then take those bodies and make them available for the customers to put them, and the competitors to put them on the cars.
Another builder of the new Camaro bodies is Durhog Motorsports. Owner Jim Durhog is also one of the principal owners of Trans Am and has been instrumental in bringing about the resurgence of this iconic brand.
We're excited about doing the new Camaro. You know, it's going to be something that's been in Trans Am for a long time. It's Corvettes, Camaros, Mustangs. The old cars are going away. We've had a 5-year rule that we haven't enforced as we built the series back up, but we're going to start to enforce a 5-year rule. And you know, we want contemporary cars. Just like the new Camaros look great in TA2, they'll look great in TA.
So that's part of what we're looking forward to in 2017 in Trans Am.
I can't wait to see the new body updates. The TA2 cars look great. Now TA is going to get an update. It's going to be a great looking race car. Can't wait to see them next season.
We are excited about 2017 and our continuing coverage of Trans Am, America's Road Racing Series. We've still got racing to talk about here at Road America. Eben will lead them back to the green for the restart. Track conditions starting to dry a little. Here comes Amy Ruhlman, and how about Mark Bowden back there in front of Paul Fix?
Mark Bowden being very aggressive. He realizes this is an opportunity for that Fall Line team to win overall, and he's not going to miss this opportunity, being very aggressive, getting to the front.
Cliff Eben, though, with the best seat in the house, clean windshield and clean racetrack as he goes through turn 1. Take a look there at Kesman in the other Porsche, the Fall Line 4 car, the Calypso Lemonades machine on the inside of John Baucom's car.
And you can see Cliff Evans still pushing hard. You're a racer. You want to win the race. It's not for class. The trophy isn't going to change, but to Cliff Evans, it matters.
Amy Ruhlman in front of Paul Fix now. But Kesman on the inside under the Sargento Bridge will pick up another couple of spots, and Fix locked right in on his deck lid.
I don't think Fix is going to like that at all. He's trying to get back by Kesman, but that Porsche so good under the braking. Tricky conditions. Porsches love it.
Time clock, top left of your screen, and Kesman goes way wide, keeps it out of the gravel trap, comes back on track, doesn't lose a spot.
Doesn't even lose ground, and that's what's great under these conditions. The preferred line is actually way offline, so that didn't work out too bad.
Take another look at what happened from Kesman's onboard, the Calypso Lemonades camera. Whoa! He was able to get that thing woed down and turn.
Absolutely, did a great job. He saw Paul Fix coming in the mirrors, going down the brakes on turn 5, got in a little too deep, but didn't lose any time in the process.
Amy Ruhlman still struggling. Here's Randy Mueller in the BMW, the Zero car. TA3 entry goes by on the inside. Amy struggling. She's been sideways and off a couple of times as she fights to hang on to her points lead. Kesman off again in the grass.
Lost a lot of ground right there. Big mistake. We can see him pushing hard. Both those Fall Line cars pushing to the very, very end.
One more look at it again. The Calypso on board. Wow. Manages to keep it rolling here through the gravel.
did a great job not to get stuck in the gravel trap there. Rain tires actually helped that a little bit, but these tricky conditions, very easy to get soaked down in there. Luckily, he was able to keep going.
Laps are winding down at Road America. Evan still your leader. Bowden there in second. If you're Mark Bowden, you're saying, come on, rain.
And if you're Cliff Evan, you're saying, what in the world is that Porsche doing behind me? How is he keeping up with me?
On the very fast front stretch headed to turn one of the most challenging corners in North American racing. Evan able to keep that car to the outside. He's used that outside line perfectly today.
Cliff Evan knows his way around Road America, not just in the wet, but in the dry as well. You can see him looking for moisture. The track is starting to dry out a little bit. It's not too much. We still see mist, but if those rain tires get hot at any point, it becomes very challenging on this course.
And you've really got a good toe-to-toe shootout shaping up. Bowden from Winnetka, Illinois. This is his home racetrack, too. Little throw, and Amy goes sideways again. The defending champion, Kesman, just wiggles by.
Narrowly misses Amy there. That could have been disastrous for her and for her championship.
Amy Ruman goes back up onto the grass one more time. Here's another look. Just gassed it too hard.
And that's exactly it. These TA cars are so fast, so much power. What makes them so good in the dry makes them a handful in the wet.
Here's from Kesman's onboard camera, the Calypso Lemonades camera. Whoa!
That could have been huge. Kesman not seeing where Amy was. When he pulled out of that pack there, car was sitting stopped. That could have been a repeat of Mid-Ohio.
Take a look at how close Bowden is now. In second spot in that black and silver Porsche to race leader Cliff Evan. You've got a TA car and a TA3 car toe-to-toe for honors here today at Road America. Evan continues to lead. He's been out front all the way. What was scheduled to be a 25-lap run. The time clock may enter into this one because of the rain. We'll be right back. Back at Road America, Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. Fans enjoying the activity here as Trans Am takes center stage at Road America. Ernie Francis Jr. in the Mustang, the 98 car from Breathless Performance, sponsored by Beta Tools. He's led just about all the way again in TA4. Could be 7 in a row for him today.
Yeah, that's huge. So hard to win just one race, but to put together 7 consecutive wins and have a car underneath you that's reliable and lasts, it's a very, very big accomplishment.
Cliff Evan has led all the way in the Stump Ford Mustang from Wisconsin, of course, and Cliff now able to pull the car to the bottom a little bit here, and one condition starting to dry out a bit.
The conditions are definitely starting to dry out. You're seeing that TA car able to use a lot more power, but it's still tricky. You can't make any mistakes. It's very wet offline.
All right, let's get a weather update from meteorologist Todd Lewis, who's busy on pit road.
The ever-changing track conditions are now drying a little more. The rain has almost stopped down here on pit lane, guys, but somebody doesn't want that to be the case. That's the 47 team of Mark Bowden, who love the rain. Those Porsches handle beautifully in the rain. They think that's their best chance to win. So in the final minutes, they're hoping for more rain and an opportunity to take this race and win first overall.
You can see how much that overall win would mean to their team. Their crew's anxiously waiting down there. The conditions are changing, not playing in favor.
Oh my gosh, yeah, conditions are changing all right. Kesman up alongside Mueller for second spot in TA3.
That was a great battle. Pulls it off.
Tim Kesman to the inside. Remember, he's been off big here twice. Mueller fighting that nose-heavy BMW a little bit.
And a great side-by-side battle. We saw Kesman off the race course not too many laps ago. He's pounding back through the field, still being super aggressive, wants to be on that podium.
Now, Jim McAleese in the 03 has gotten back on course. He had it off earlier. That's the winning car and driver from a year ago here at Road America, down into turn 5. We'll see if Kesman now can drive away from Mueller and do anything with his teammate Bowden. Time clock, top of your screen. Of course, these races are 100 miles or by time. It looks today as though we've got time for about 2 more laps given the rain here. We might not get to the full 100 miles. Our Taste of the Outlets Calypso Lemonades TA3 and 4 update. Chris Utzon had a bad day from the beginning on the pace laps. The DWW Ford going off, knocking some front bodywork loose. He was not able to continue. TA4 contender Todd Napierowski's Chevrolet behind the wall. Engine woes there. He was not able to continue after the early laps. Great racing, though, in a lot of cases in 3 and 4. Ernie Francis Jr. in the Beta Tools Ford Mustang trying for his 7th win in a row this season. Looks like he will go uncontested to the checkered flag as he has not put a wheel wrong. The battle in TA3 for second. Randy Mueller in the BMW, Kesman in the Calypso Lemonades Porsche. They went side by side moments ago before Kesman got by Mueller and took over second behind his teammate. Mark Bowden in the Fall Line Porsche, the 47. He is second overall, the leader in TA3. Hot weather means it's perfect weather for an ice cold Calypso lemonade made with real lemons, real sugar. Calypso is real lemonade, the perfect summertime refreshment. Go to drinkcalypso.com for more information. The Calypso Lemonade in Victory Lane looks like it's going to belong to Cliff Evan today, but Paul Fix in Trans Am has put together a strong day as well.
A very solid day for Paul Fix. Glad to see him at Road America after that huge impact at Mid-Ohio. Built a brand new race car, having a solid day. I know he wanted to get to Victory Lane and have some redemption, but putting in a great effort.
And as tough as it is to drive these high horsepower cars, we've talked about it, Michael McDowell, all day from your perspective. You're on track here this weekend. If you avoid going off today, that's quite an accomplishment.
You have to race the racetrack. You have to stay on course. That's the most important thing. Be there at the end, especially in these TA cars that are such a challenge under the wet conditions.
So the Stopflex Chevrolet of Fix remaining in the championship fight. Looks as though he'll put together a nice second place run today. Time clock inside 3 minutes. We'll see the white flag presumably next time by. Fix running there behind Bowden, third overall.
And it's starting to rain again. This is what Bowden wanted to see. I don't think he has enough time to catch Cliff Evan, but you never know these tricky conditions. If he put together a solid last lap, he might have a shot at the overall.
Paul Fix on the gas on the straightaway here, but he's got to tiptoe that high horsepower Trans Am car coming into 5 here.
And Paul Fix is a veteran. He's looking around him. He looks in his rearview mirror. There's nobody coming. It's a solid points day. Stay on course. Don't make a mistake. Finish it off strong. That's what he needed to do today.
David Pintarik in that Cadillac-bodied machine, running third in the 57 car. He's put in a nice day as well. It's the Kreider Racing machine. You're using the gearbox to slow that car down. Being gentle on the throttle at a place like this is really challenging, isn't it?
You have to be gentle with all the inputs, not just with the throttle, but when you apply the brake, the steering input. Anytime you slide under the wet conditions, the car just does not recover and will keep going.
So Pintarik doing a terrific job, hoping for a podium spot today in Trans Am. It's been a good, clean day for the young veteran driver. Rain starting to come down heavily now on the backside of the course. Our camera's struggling now to keep the lenses clean here. Just pouring rain as he heads toward the Speedville Bridge.
Going into the carousel, daunting part of the racetrack, but Cliff Evan commanding lead, coming up to get the white flag. This should be the last lap of the race.
Less than a minute to go by time. As long as you get to start finish before the clock expires, you can run at least one more lap, and the white flag is in the air as Eben goes under the bridge on the front straightaway. Wow, the rain has started to come down in even greater intensity now.
And you have to be careful. You're getting used to the track drying out. You have a lot of grip. You go down to turn 1, it's completely soaked, no grip at all. Cliff Evan manages it well, but he's got to put together 4 miles, a full lap here to get back to that checkered flag.
Think back to what happened to Eben just a few short weeks ago, July 4th weekend at Brainerd, when he led just about all the way and had a motor issue in the last couple of laps.
He's had a few mechanical issues, lots of speed, led lots of laps, more laps than we've seen out of Cliff Evan led this year. He's doing a great job, but managing this final lap, even with a big lead, is very challenging to do.
Eben will take his time and work his way by another TA4 entry, one of the Mustangs in the field. And again, you can see how much water's all of a sudden on the racetrack here in just this final lap.
And you just don't know what to expect. You head down into the next corner, so different than the last lap that you just had, but Cliff Evan is a veteran.
Simon Gregg, our Mid-Ohio winner, has gone off. Coming out from under the Continental Tire Bridge, he's going to wait there on this final lap. And he'll roll that car ahead ever so slowly. You don't want to pull out in front of anybody here, that's for sure, as Eben hits the carousel.
Carousel, very tricky, long duration corner, running the rain line. Cliff is doing a great job. Wheel spin off the corner, he's still pushing hard. Treacherous conditions on this final lap.
Listen to the sound of the rain falling as Eben goes by Simon Gregg's machine. That's an indication of how hard it's rained here in the last couple of minutes.
And you can see the car hydroplaning down the straightaway. Tough conditions.
Eben coming slowly up on the 7 of Claudio Burton. Everybody just trying to get home My old friend Derek Daly used to say they're home and dry. Nobody's dry here today at Road America, I can promise you that.
But done a great job. All the competitors, we've seen a few offs, but for these conditions, to not be under caution the entire race was a great, great indication of how talented the field is here.
Eben up through the gears one last time.
And you can hear him tiptoeing around, just trying to make this final corner. He can see the start-finish line from this point. All he's got to do is get up through the gears and get that checkered flag.
Take a look at the times at the top of your screen. Good pace here in qualifying for TA car, right around 2 minutes. Race pace now a full minute or more slower. Eben to the line, takes the checkered flag. Cliff Eben, your winner at his home track at Road America in the Trans Am 100. Here comes Mark Bowden in the Fall Line Porsche. He will win TA3 and finish second overall.
If he just saw that rain a little bit sooner, he might have had a shot at Cliff Eben.
Great job by Bowden and by his teammate Tim Kesman in the Calypso Lemonades machine. Ernie Francis Jr., 7 in a row in TA4. We'll talk to the winners next.
Trans Am Racing Series on CBS Sports Network is being brought to you by Three Dimensional Services Group, Prototype, Production, Proven, and by GoShare, your friend with a truck.
Back at Road America, where the rain has been much of the story, but the big story now is our winner, Cliff Eben in Victory Lane. Here's Todd.
Cliff Eben climbs out, a little cleanup afterwards. It was a challenge out there, I know. You seem to be pretty much in control as the rain started to let up, though. Home track advantage, you seem pretty comfortable.
Yeah, it helps a lot to have quite a few laps in the rain here, so it definitely helps.
Your car seemed really strong all day. A bit of a challenge from the Porsche, but a strong car for you.
Yeah, the car ran perfect. The last lap was a little dicey. It started pouring in the back, and you could just barely drive down the track, but it made it through and finished.
Made it through, finished, and he's the winner here at Road America.
And a great drive from Cliff Eben, managing the tricky conditions, did it like a pro, and he's in victory lane.
Cliff Eben helps himself in the championship fight quite a bit. Paul Fix ends up in second spot over Pintarek. Vince Allegretta, Kerry Hit, Simon Gregg. There's Amy Ruman down in 7th.
And Amy Ruman's championship lead has shrunk over the last 3 events. She's got to get back on track.
Jim McAleese, last year's winner here, comes back for 9th. John Baucom, 11th. RJ Lopez, who has won this season, struggling to a 13th place finish in Trans Am. Take a look at the points chase. The battle for the Trigon Trophy presented by Three Dimensional Services Group. Amy's still out in front, just 11 now over Eben.
Amy Ruman's lead is shrinking. She has to get solid results put back together.
All right, let's talk to our TA3 winner. Back downstairs to Todd.
Mark Bowden coming out of that car with a smile on his face, and understandably so. What a drive you had today in the rain.
Well, thank you. That was a lot of fun.
How good was this Porsche in the rain? It gave you a real chance to win overall.
Yeah, you know, Cliff was so fast on the straightaway. I had nothing for him. I'd go through the kink and I'd be right on him, and I'd come through 13, I was right on him, and then they'd get out of 3 seconds to me, and I'm like, oh, how did that happen? From there to there, 3 seconds. But he knows his way around here in the rain as well. It's a good advantage to have her home track, and I've got a lot of laps here in the rain. The Fall Line Porsche was great. The Hoosier rain tires, it's our first time on this new Hoosier rain tire, and it was really a stout tire and fun race.
Mark Bowden, a fun race, especially when you're the winner at TA3.
Mark Bowden provided a lot of entertainment for us. We were pulling for him to get that overall victory. Porsche's so fast today. His teammate Tim Kesman in second. Randy Mueller, great job in that BMW. It was a fun race to watch.
Fernando Cefalos, Mel Shaw, Randy Kinsland round out your TA3 running order. Let's take a look at the championship fight now in TA3. Cindy Lux, Steve Strymer on hand in their Dodge Vipers. They didn't have a very good day. Mueller now is the points leader by almost 60 over Bowden.
And did exactly what he needed to do. Stayed on track, got on the podium, scored some points. He has a big lead.
All right, let's talk to Tim Kesman, who also provided a lot of entertainment today on that Calypso Lemonades Porsche in TA3.
Tim Kesman, you were excited about getting in this Calypso machine yesterday when we talked. Excited today after a terrific run.
Yeah, it was a good run. Well, like we said, DOT tire or slick tire didn't come into play today with the rain tire, and the Hoosier rain tires were pretty good. The Porsche is just a really good car for the rain, and we had a blast. We dodged a couple of bullets, In fact, I think you'll see on your in-car that we missed some spectacular things, but overall gathered it up and came home a strong second.
Spectacular day. Congratulations.
Tim did a great job avoiding Amy Ruman's spin, almost got into her, had a few off courses, but he managed a great solid day.
Ernie Francis Jr. continues his string, 7 in a row now at TA4 in that Mustang. He'll be in Trans Am next year. A wild one here, the Trans Am 100 at Road America. For Michael McDowell, Todd Lewis, I'm Rick Benjamin. We congratulate our winner, Cliff Evan. We'll talk to you next time with more coverage of Trans Am, America's Road Racing Series on the CBS Sports Network. Thanks for watching, everybody.